Welcome back to Temeron's Tactics. This is Dominions 4 Gameplay Tutorial Part 9. So we have 200 enemy units that have just crossed the bridge into Epernia in the middle of the map. Our army is in Deadlands, and we have about 50 units that are coming to reinforce that are here in Llama. Now, the army in Epernia might decide to jump my army in Llama because they outnumber them 4-1. This is 210 units. This is about 55 or something like that. Yeah, about 53 units here in Llama. So they outnumber them 4-1, so they might try to jump in on that. If they do, then I could move my army from Deadlands into Llama. I have about 150 units here in Deadlands. And then we would be able to have a nice even fight. And I think that I would probably prevail because we have my Dominion here, which is very strong. So his units, his strongest units will be weaker, and ours will be stronger. So I think that we would prevail if that was what he decided to do. If instead he moves to Batagne, which is largely undefended, I have just 6 guys there, so it's nothing. Okay, he could just capture that, and then our army would then be in Llama, and his army would be in Batagne. And the next turn, the question would be: is he going to try to capture Cetus, which has the fully upgraded castle, and probably take him a couple of turns, or would he stand and fight my army in my extremely high dominion here? So he's at a disadvantage because of the level of dominion in my area. You see the candles, okay? We have 5 points of dominion here in Epernia. So that's going to give my prophet and my pretender god hit points, and they have more strength, and they're much tougher, okay? And his are weaker. So if we can fight this army here with even numbers, we're going to be victorious. We can't fight him 50 versus 200, though. So I think the best thing for us to do is to move our army from Deadlands into Llama to reinforce in the hopes that our two armies can clash and have an even fight. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's go to Deadlands and reset up our army. At this point, we have these 2 groups of light infantry here. There's no reason for us to have these as 2 groups at this point, because they're all just in one line. You see, it's just one line. So why don't we just move that line up? And you can see it's way too long, so we should actually have them in double line formation. And that's going to scrunch them up a little bit, but they're going to be twice as thick up in the front. These are still our javelineers that we're focusing on here. So they're not quite as wide, but they'll be just a little bit thicker, and that sounds fine. Okay, so let's move them to that position. Over on our left flank, we had this group going to attack the rear, but let's actually move them up a bit. Let's move them up there, and then we can move these just away from them a touch. Let's actually go down there, have a kind of a lopsided layout now. Okay, that's okay. You don't have to be symmetrical. And then these guys could then move up right here. Remember, they're attacking large monsters. The small group is going to run up and attack the largest enemy, and then these guys, this large group, will go right behind them to the end of the enemy formation and attack their rear. So that's going to work real nicely for us. So now that we've repositioned our army a bit, we should look at the army in Llama, which is just blobbed in the middle there, which is obviously not what we want. Okay, let's put them off to the side. Remember, they're not under a good commander right now. Not a good commander at all. He gives very low morale, plus 0 morale. So we want to give these guys plus 1 morale by making sure there's at least 1 serpent in each of these groups. I'll put 2 in the front line ones. Let's put them right there in in line formation, I guess. Well, we better put them in box formation because he has really poor morale, right? Okay, so we're going to leave them in box for the maximum morale. They're going to fire at closest enemy. And then these other guys here are just going to stand aside, beside them right there. And then we'll have them hold and attack closest enemy. So this is sort of like a second group. If you imagine these 2 guys back here, and then let's go look at our other army, that area is empty. This is where they will end up if we merge our armies and a combat happen. I'm going to move all my units here in Deadlands, including Maklu the Empoisoner, down to Llama, and then these guys in Llama, they're just going to, let's just have them just defend, all right? We don't have any money in our treasury, so I can't buy any more defenses for anybody. So let's go ahead and end the turn and see. Yes, I want Faiz to do nothing. See if they attack us. Research and enchantment is completed. We now have level 4 enchantment spells. That means Astral Healing, Antimagic, and Haste. Outstanding. Okay. Astral Healing requires that I carry around astral pearls on my god. It's going to cost me 1 astral pearl every time I cast. That's a type of gem. Okay. We don't have any astral pearls, but we can make some in just a few minutes. I'll show you how. And that's going to give all of our friendly units just a small heal, just a little gentle 2-point heal, which is pretty cool, okay? We also have Antimagic, which also costs 1 astral pearl, and it gives all of our units magic resistance. Now that's much better than the standard resist magic spell, right? Because it affects the entire battlefield. You'll notice, though, that it gives 100 fatigue, meaning that if you try to cast that, it's going to tire you out immediately. But since we're going to be using our communion group, it'll be distributed amongst all of the guys. So everybody's going to get maybe 20 instead of 100. No problem. Poison word's not that important because all of our guys are already resistant to poison somewhat. So Haste, however, a large number of soldiers are given quick feet. Movement is doubled. That's a good spell. And that's also a 100 fatigue cost spell, but it has a huge area of effect. 25, that's a lot. Okay? So those are both very good spells after we cast Communion Master and Communion Slave. Manslay the Carrion Centaurs claimed the Throne of Bones in the name of Spittle. Spittle is their god. Great. My troops in Llama are starving due to lack of supplies because we have too many guys in one province. Suddenly, Atun Shar, the Sobek Sauromancer, appeared at my castle and wanted to fight for your cause. Great. We've gained a hero unit. Okay. You recall from way back we were talking about choosing who your prophet's going to be. This would be option 3, is waiting for your hero unit to arrive and then declare him your prophet. Okay. See how long it's been into the game? It's more than a year. So let's take a look at Atun Shar. He is 2 water, 3 death, 2 nature. He's an excellent spellcaster. So let's take a look at our available spells. All right. Enchantment, so that would give protection from cold, a bunch of skeletal reanimation spells. Let's see here. Water, we could do skeletons. It would give him vile water, which lets him summon gelatinous cubes if we want. More undead raising. Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty good caster, and he would actually really supplement our army very, very well. And then in Thaumaturgy, that would give Scrying Pool, which lets me scout. You know, it lets you magically scout other provinces that are far away. It's a ritual, right? And not much in that sphere because we haven't done much in Thaumaturgy yet. But, I mean, it would be a nice supplement to our group. So let's go ahead and move Atun Shar up into Bataine, which is exactly where to rendezvous with the rest of our army here. And then I'm going to give him army setup. He can hold 40 units. Very nice. I like that. 3 serpents in each one. Just a random group of guys. Okay, so let's just put them up here. These are just random reinforcement units, right? They're just going to rendezvous with the rest of our army. He'll go over here. We're just going to have him cast spells. Very good. So Atun Shar is going to move up. All of our units are moving to Bataine. Let's end the turn. And our troops are starving. You see, we've got just a little bit too many units. 189 supply usage versus 177 supplies. And see, he's pushing forward through our provinces here, but now his army is very, very weakened. So we should be able to just sweep those up, go through over here, and capture this throne. So I think we're going to be all right. Let's take a look at this army setup now that we've rendezvoused with Atun Shar. We can grab all of these units and put them with the rest of our normal army. I'm going to grab Maklu, just Maklu, and have him move up to Epernia so that he can scout for us, and potentially, if he decides to cross the bridge with a big army with a commander, I could maybe assassinate his commander. Everyone else is going to go down to POLMANIA here and take on his small group of Centaurs, Satyr Warriors, and Satyr Sneaks. Atun Shar is part of that group. Okay, so let's see how that battle goes. The Battle of POLMANIA. You can see we're bringing up some soulless warriors now. Those are like zombie warriors because he's got the 3 death spells there. And enchantment, which we do have some of, has all the necromancy spells are in enchantment. So now we're taking part in necromancy. Easy fight. There's just nothing there. That's nothing. This is just a nobody. I'm just going to zip through that battle. Very good. And we still have a lack of supplies. So you've got just too many guys at this point. Supplies radiate from your fortress. Whenever you have a fortress, you'll recall that the fortress absorbs resources from the neighboring province, and in turn, it radiates supplies to up to 4 provinces away, in sort of a diminishing quantity the farther you get away from the fortress. So the closer we are to this fortress here in Cetus, the more supplies we're going to have. You'll notice we have 778 supplies here. Here in Batagne we have 187, and here in POLMANIA there's only 109. So what we should probably try to do is move up closer to the enemy area here, perhaps up to Epernia, and then put a fortress here so that we would be able to radiate supplies from up here, which is closer to this throne that we need to capture, and then we would also be able to block off that bridge. So that's probably something we'll work on in the next video. So again, you're watching Temeron's Tactics. My name is Temeron. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the continuation of this gameplay tutorial series.